CHICKEN. Use the code CHICKEN in the shop. CHICKEN.
Guys, the chicken is here. We are back today with another Boom Beach video. In today's video, guys, we are going to be looking at the tech tree for Season 24, and we're going to try to carve out a couple plans. Now, I've been talking to a lot of people, and there's a lot of different thoughts. I think this season is going to be really interesting. So if you guys want to make sure that you stay up to date on everything to do, you know, as the daily meta evolves, we're going to be posting videos as we always do, as we have for the last 23 seasons, each and every single day. So make sure you just simply subscribe to the channel. And I do appreciate, of course, if you use the code CHICK in the shop if you're going to pick up instant training or anything like that. So that being said, let's take a look at the first path here. So right out of the gates. Now, out of these two guys, it's always important to blindly max your landing crafts. That's always, you know, that's a no-brainer. That's the one thing. That's almost like the one upgrade in warships you can just count on, like, every single time. You have to max out your landing crafts right away. The gunboat is kind of, you know, not as necessary. It's very cheap to do it, but we don't necessarily have to. So, as we start out here, what's going to be important? Okay, what's going to be important? So, we know we're going to have to get Zookas. Mines are going to be put on hold for the time being. And mortars are on the way to troop damage, so we're going to get them. You know, if we have the defense, we might as well max it out, but we're going to save our tokens. So the idea is we want to skip on cannons at first because we want to get the troop damage. We have shock bombs, and we can go straight to 3 engine with heavies. This is what most people are going to do right out of the gates. They're going to go straight for heavies. If you have enough keys, get the troop damage. If you don't, just make sure you can get to heavies. Like, if you can do nothing else, max out your landing crafts and max out heavies day one. That's the most important thing. From there, you're going to be able to compete. You're going to have a chance to get into gold, and you're going to be able to collect your chests, right? So we're going to have heavies. We're going to have Zookas as well. Now, in terms of defensive, I think it's actually going to be a defensive meta because it's a grounded season, right? We're not going to have heavy choppers. We're not going to have rocket choppers. So it's going to be a little bit harder, especially later on. So the more beefed up our base is going to be, I feel like that's only going to try to focus the camera here. I feel like that's only going to help us. That's only going to help us move forward as the season goes. Now, do we want to unlock and max out everything all at once? No, that's not a good use of our tokens and our keys. So let's keep moving along. So basically, that's the idea. Now, after that, there's a lot of stuff in here. And I feel like a lot of people, you know, we've seen this, we've kind of had this gap for the last few seasons between whether it's 3 and 4, 4 and 5 engines, where there's a lot of stuff, and a lot of it's good. And it's typically never a bad thing to unlock, you know, good tech. But it's so key to get the right thing. So what I'm thinking, what I'm leaning towards, is once I get the heavies, I think I'm just going to make a straight dash either to Kavan or to 4 ERs. I'm thinking if I'm going to go to 4 ERs early, that I want to have Kavan to help us out with that. Now, Everspark could be good if we look later on in the tree, and if we're using tanks. If tanks come into the meta, Everspark is going to be great. So, I think your entire season, you know, whatever your starting point is, your entire season is going to is going to kind of depend upon what you do here. So we have a couple options. We have Everspark, number 1 option. We have Kavan, number 2 option. We have Barrage, number 3 option. And we have simply riding ahead through to 4 as your number 4 option, just skipping ahead. So I think your entire season is going to revolve around one of those 4 choices. Now, Barrage could be huge. Getting Barrage early could be huge, because think about it this way. Barrage is going to be strong enough, you know, if you get it up to tick 3 or 4. If you can get that early, while everyone else is back here upgrading heavies and medkits and gunboat energy and building health and warriors, and, you know, and they're getting the multi-nodes and critters and rocket launchers and all that stuff. If there's a lot of people stuck in 3 engines, which there is going to be for a long period of time, being able to have 4 engines and being able to use Barrage on one of their engines, I think that could potentially be huge. That could be a huge advantage right there. So that remains to be seen. All of this is kind of like theory crafting, right? Like, we're just kind of coming up with the meta beforehand. We don't know exactly what it's going to be, but it's fun. This is what makes Warships so fun, is this stuff right here. Just trying to figure out what's going to be good, what's not going to be good. Of course, we're going to go more in depth, and we're actually going to know once we put out the tech tree guide for Season 24, which we do at like... typically what I do is I'll stream when Warships launches for, just till I get my chest. It's usually an hour and a half, something like that if we're doing well. That'll be at 3 a.m. Eastern Time Monday morning. Then I'll put out the tech tree guide right after that. So that's usually like 5 a.m., 4:30, 5 a.m., something like that. So if you guys can just collect your first chest, watch that video, then get a taste of what you need to be doing, that's going to be the best start. Because honestly, the way that I do it is I kind of play and I figure it out. And, I've got somewhat of an idea going in like we're going over here right now. But nothing is for certain until we actually start playing and see what's going to evolve, right? We've learned that time and time again. So just, it's just so important if you can just be tuned in to somebody, whether it's me or somebody else or whatever, the community, and just see where the best choice is to go. So, yeah, barrage could be huge. Tanks could be a thing, especially in a grounded season. But as we move forward here, you see we've got the damage amp there. That's gonna be nice with the rocket launchers. We got troop damage over here. We got building damage over here. So we got a lot of good stuff. I mean, everything from 3 to 4 is really nice. I think my plan is to lean in a little bit more defensively. And what I'm definitely gonna do this season is I'm not gonna just unlock everything. I made that mistake last season, and I kind of wasted all my tech on just unlocking everything in the tech tree all at once. And I never really hit that effective push point. So this season, we're going to try to play it a little bit smarter. Not totally smarter, but a little bit smarter. Yeah, so then we go up to 5 here, and we've got Bullet. I don't think Bullet's going to be that huge this season. It depends how dirty the bases get. If it becomes hard to just simply survive, Bullet's going to be okay. But Bullet typically shines with rocket choppers, right? That's typically what he goes with. So we might not see Bullet as much this season because we don't have Seekers. He's good with rocket choppers. He's great with Seekers, obviously. So, I mean, I don't think he's going to be great with Heavies and Sukas. I think Kavan is going to be better. And, yeah, Heavies and Bombardiers is probably going to be a thing for a while. So we're going to have to invest in those guys too. Brick is kind of out off on her own. 56 keys, very expensive. I don't know if Brick is going to be that important. We'll see. I doubt it's going to turn into a base race. Like I said, it's looking to shape up to be a bit more of a defensive meta. So I'm thinking, the typical things like Kavan and Bombardiers on offense, and then just kind of chill on that, and then really invest heavily in your defense. The one thing that I'm stuck on is rocket launchers, because these are really, early on when everyone's heavy rushing, they're not going to make a huge difference, right? But as we get, if you can get them maxed out, it's going to, especially if once Bombardiers come into the scene, and if you already have max rockets, then that's going to put you ahead a little bit versus having to come back and get them, because it takes like 2 days worth of diamond chests to max out your rocket launchers. They're very, very expensive. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. And then we move along forward here, and we have more prototypes. The multi-nodes, like we said in the sneak peek, we don't have multiple boom cannons. They're just single boom cannons, so it's not the end of the world. And then we get to the end of the tree. We got a lot of good prototypes here. We got two laser beam 3s, which could potentially melt the bombardiers. We got sky shields. We got building damage. We got troop damage. We got all the statue nodes for days, so it's going to be really interesting. And also all the deck layouts. I think it's going to be a grindy season. I really do. Every season's grindy, but you know what I mean. I think it's going to be tough for offense, and I think it's going to be a more defensive-oriented season, because if we look at the deck layouts, we have single loading ramps for every single deck layout. There's not multiple landing ramps, which means it's harder to split drop, which means we'll probably see more clustered bases. You pile that on top of everyone stacking up on their defenses. I think that's going to be the way to go. So we'll see exactly what's going to happen here. But, yeah, I think, just to reiterate, right out of the gates, what we want to do is we want to get, it's probably going to be either heavy rush or heavies and Zukas, grab the troop damage, and then just simply rush forward. If you're going to go the Everspark route, go ahead and grab her. And then if not, I would save the keys, and I think I'm just going to run. I think my plan is heavies, troop damage in Kavan right out of the gates, then maybe bust through to 4, and see if we have enough keys left over to get some barrage. But I think that's the plan. That's my plan anyway. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. That is going to wrap it up for the video today. And make sure to subscribe because we are going live on this channel, 3 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow morning. So strap yourselves in. It's going to be fun. It's going to be rough, but we'll get through it together. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. That is going to wrap it up for the video today. Make sure to leave a like if you found it interesting, entertaining, or informative. And we'll see you next one, guys. Chicken out. Back.